Hey everyone, it's Kaycienikole, and today we're going to go through a fun little mini flow sequence that's going to incorporate a lot of core stability and balance in our transitions. So, probably some things that you haven't done before, so we'll work through them nice and slowly. If you have done them before, cool. We'll just continue to work on building more strength into our trunk muscles. I would suggest having 2 blocks available just in case. We're going to start off in a seated position, sitting on our heels in thunderbolt pose or hero's pose. And as you come into this position, if it is too much on the knees, at any point you can take your blocks, either one or both of them, and you can place them between your feet and let your hips sit onto the blocks instead, so it takes a little bit of pressure off of your knees as well as your ankles. So if you would like to take that variation, you can take it. Otherwise, just find your nice comfortable seat on your heels, or if you're feeling really open, maybe separate the feet and let the hips settle all the way down to the ground. But because this is our first posture, make sure it actually feels comfortable, that we're not just forcing it into the shape because we can, but because it actually feels good and it serves us. So as you close your eyes, take a moment, work out the little fidgets in your body. And then we'll focus on releasing the fidgets of the mind. And to do this, we're going to direct our focus and attention onto the breath to kind of calm and slow things down. So first, just notice the turbulence of your mind. And then release all of your breath out so the emptiness of your lungs allows space for us to breathe in together. So once you're at the bottom of that exhale, pause. And then together, deep breath in through the nose, fill up from the bottom all the way up to the top. Expand the breath in all directions, holding it briefly at the very top. And then open up your mouth and let it go. Again, slow breath in. Open up and expand through the belly. Let it rise, lifting all the way up into your chest and your shoulders. Holding at the top. Open up the mouth and let it go. Now this time we're going to keep the breath through the nose the whole way through. Start with your inhale, filling up. Expand in all directions. Once you've reached the top, we're going to sip in a little more air just to get that full lung capacity. And then keep the breath through the nose. Try to keep it moving just as slowly as you exhale, melt the breath back out. And take one more on your own. Find your own pace. And once you've completed that exhale, let your breath settle just a little bit. Still breathing in and out of the nose. And just add that light constriction to your breath to give it that audible sound, like an ocean wave coming into your ujjayi breath. Take about one more here. And then gently blink open through the eyes. From here, hands resting on the lap. Inhale, draw the heart forward and up. Feel the lifting of the chest. Hip bones are drawing back. And then exhale, round, curl your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tail. Feel that nice flexion. Inhale, extend the spine, open up the heart. Feel the broadening across the chest. Hip bones are tilting back. And exhale, rounding, curling, squeezing in. Go ahead and take a couple more rounds on your own here, just bringing more movement and awareness into the spine and into the hips. Okay. And then let's make our way back into a nice neutral shape. We are going to give a lot of emphasis to core and to the balancing, but we're also going to get a little bit into the hips today. So let's come forward and just tuck the toes. If you have your blocks, you can remove them here. Bringing the knees and feet together, toes tuck under. Now you can stay here and just feel your hips sink towards the heels. That's fine. Okay. Otherwise, walk your hands in and try to lift your knees off the ground and coming to kind of this toe balancing. Now the fingers can continue to walk in. You can even use blocks underneath the hands. Find a focal point in front of you. Try to lift tall through the spine, core engages. Try to draw one hand to your heart center. And if able, spine tall, drawing both hands to heart center. Deep breath here. It's okay to lose your balance. Feel the stabilizing. One more breath. Slowly lower the fingers back down, lowering the knees back down, hands walk forward. Go ahead and untuck your toes, create little fists with your feet and your toes, and just kind of tap them on the ground. Alrighty. Now from here, from your tabletop position, bring your shoulders over your wrists, hips over the knees. We're going to do a little bit of mobility work here, but we're going to really isolate to make sure we're not flaring open through our body. We want to move very mindfully. So right now, notice your pelvis is in a nice neutral position. Okay, the back of the pelvis is nice and flat, and that's how we want to keep it. We're not going to let it roll open to one side or the other. I'm going to start with the left side just so you can see a little bit more clearly. But you're going to take your left knee and you're going to start to open it to the left side until you feel the hip wants to start opening as well. Okay, we don't want the hip to start turning open. We don't want the pelvis to rotate, which is actually just movement in the opposite hip. I just want you to open up the left knee to the side until you feel its range of motion without letting the other hip open up. Okay, so it's not going to open up very much. That's okay. However much it does open while keeping the back of the pelvis neutral, just draw little mini circles within that range of motion. Try not to go beyond. Try not to tip the pelvis to the side. Go in the opposite direction. Keep your core nice and tight. So feel your belly button hug up and in. Feel your pelvic floor draw in. Now let the legs stretch long behind you and then cross it over to the right side. We're just going to get a little deeper opening here. Long spine on an inhale. And then look back over your right shoulder towards the foot. Emphasize that C curvature through the spine. Over exaggerate it to the point you feel that nice opening. One more breath. And then slowly come back around to center. We're going to do a lot of work that emphasizes balancing on the knees. So if at any point your knees are too tender on the ground, I would highly recommend getting a blanket underneath your knees for just a little added cushion. Okay, let's stretch the left leg back nice and long. And then we're going to set the toes down to the ground. So left leg is still extended, but toes are tucked. Now from here, we're going to take the right foot, the knee that's on the ground, and we're going to kind of kickstand it to the right side as you open up your left foot to a 90-degree angle. So now our hips are open to the side. Let's stretch the left hand up nice and high. Deep breath here. Now, slowly start to float your left foot away from the ground. Feel Uddiyana Bandha engage, belly button hugs back and up. And equally feel your pelvic floor draw in so you feel nice and solidified through the core. Deep breath here. Now, if you need to take the top leg down first, you can. Otherwise, extra challenge. Find a focal point in front of you, come up onto the bottom fingertips. And then you're going to slowly start to feel your weight shift back. Maybe come up onto the fingertips more, maybe walk them in, maybe hover them, and slowly come up as you set the left foot to the ground. And we come up into a gate pose position. So from your gate pose, you might be off your mat a little bit. No worries. Left hand down to your left leg, right arm reaches up. Take a deep breath in And then exhale, lean over to your left side. You can walk the hand down the leg. Just try to avoid pressing into the knee. Top arm reaches over. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way up. Now we're going to do that same thing, slow motion in the reverse. So you're going to feel yourself tip slightly to the right. Try to take weight off of your left foot. Slowly lower your right hand to the ground. And then from here, we're going to bend the left knee, foot draws behind us. Maybe catch the foot with your hand. If that's not available, just open up your ribs and chest like a back bend as you reach in the general direction. If you have the foot, use it to kick the foot into the hand, still opening the body the same way, pulling the ribs forward, opening up the chest. Let's take another breath. Okay. Re-extend the leg here. And then you're going to set the foot to the ground. Press into that back foot and equally press your bottom hand. As you press down, really lift up through the hips. You can stay here, or you can hover your right knee. For an extra challenge, kick your right leg forward. One more breath. If the leg extended forward, rebend the knee, draw it back. Slowly lower the knee back down to the ground if it's lifted. Now we're going to work a transition. We're going to work it nice and slow. Let's lift the back leg back up. Start to kick it forward in front of you. Now we're going to try to take that foot and step it all the way around to the front of the mat. We're going to need to pivot on this bottom knee. So as you start to bring the foot around to the front, pivot on your knee and step it forward. As I pivoted on that knee, the foot is now behind me. If it's not quite there, just go ahead and bring it there. And then you're going to slowly come up into this low lunge position. You can always use your blocks to either side if you need a little extra stability. Now pull the weight back so that your hips are lined over the back knee and start to walk your front foot in a little bit. That left foot coming up onto the toes. Let's take the arms out to the sides. We're going to use them for a little bit of core balancing and stability. So find a focal point, your drishti, and really focus in on it. Core engages, and as it does, maybe come up onto the toes on that left foot. See if you can hover the toes. You can touch them back down as many times as you need to. Maybe you get full extension through the leg. One more breath. Wherever you are, rebend the knee and plant the foot back down to the ground. Whew, that one is not easy. Now, if you want to use your hands, you can, but we're going to try to do it without if possible. So from here, we're going to keep the knee bent. You can walk it forward if needed. Tail reaches down to the ground. So try to avoid flaring into the back, but feel your tail reach down, neutralizing your pelvis, keeping the core engaged. And then from here, you can bend into that front knee and sink into it. Feel your hips sink, but try to avoid the collapsing into the lower back. Keep lengthening the tail down as you sink in. Hands can do whatever you please. One more breath. Now pull the hips back. And as you do, walk the foot forward just a little bit and try to roll up onto the heel toes, pull back. Once again, hands can always come down to the floor or to blocks for extra stabilizing. Otherwise, from here, lift the spine, deep breath in, and exhale, hinging forward over that left leg. Keep extending the chest away from the hip line. Feel the balancing that also comes into play here. One more breath. Inhale, spine lifts back up. Go ahead and wiggle the heel, bring the foot back in. Nice bend into the knee. Try to get the knee to stack right over the ankle. Once again, hands can be used on the ground for extra support and stabilizing through these transitions. Otherwise, tuck the back toes. Okay, find balance between your feet, arms up, crescent lunge, come up, breath. Let's join the hands together at heart center. Start to shift your weight forward, come up onto the back toes and push through the front leg to lift the back leg up. Warrior 3. Standing leg is straight and strong. If you wobble or you fall out of it, just come back in. Take another breath. Slowly come to standing. Feel the knee lift to your chest. Point the toes. Now we're doing the same thing that we were doing on our knees, but now from standing. So from here, extend the leg as best as you can. Try not to lean backwards. One more breath. Rebend the knee. Extend it back, warrior 3. Balancing. Feel the transition. Feel your core nice and engaged. Bend your standing leg. Slowly step back with your right toes. Try to touch them down with control. Then dropping that back knee slowly down to the ground. And as you do, untuck the toes, right hand plants down, left hand up. Now from here, you're going to slowly kickstand your right foot back. As you take the left leg, extend it back behind you. Lower the foot to the ground, top hand down, swivel to center, and a quick child's pose. Sink in. Settle your breath here. One more breath. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Slowly come up into your tabletop position. Stack the joints. Now, from here, keep the hips neutral. Right knee opens to the right side. Try to avoid letting the hips turn open. And then work within that range of motion as you slowly find these circular motions, making sure to go in both directions. Imagine you have a marble on the back of your hips and you're really trying to avoid them rolling to one side or the other. Leg extends long behind you. Cross it over to the left side and set the foot down. Long spine, breath in, and then exhale. Look back over your left shoulder towards the foot. Feel that C curve in your spine. Take another breath. Bring your spine back to center. Right leg stretches back. Set the foot down with the toes tucked. Now we're going to open up the left foot like a kickstand. Open up that back foot 90 degrees and reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. Now, as you reach up, slowly begin to float your right leg up away from the ground. Feel that core stability. Belly button hugs up and in, pelvic floor is drawing up towards the navel. Now, come up onto your bottom fingertips. Slow and controlled. Try to float the fingertips, walk them in if needed. Slowly come up, set the right foot down, coming into a gate pose. Right hand down to your right thigh, left hand reaches up, breath in, lift the spine tall. And then exhale, lean over to the right side. Stretch into that side body. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way up, arms to a T. Same thing in reverse. Start to lean forward until weight comes off the back foot. Slowly transition, left hand back down to the ground. Start to bend into your right knee, foot behind you, reaching back to grab a hold of the foot. If it's not there, just reach in the general direction. Open up your ribs and chest, kicking the foot into the hand if it is attached. Take another breath here. As you release, extend arm and leg, and then set your right foot down to the ground. Pressing through that back foot, pressing through your bottom hand. Try as best as you can to press the floor away. Maybe your left knee hovers. If you want that extended version, extend the leg forward. If the leg is extended, rebend the knee, draw it back, and set it back down. Now, right foot floats back up. Start to kick that foot in front of you. Now we're going to pivot on that bottom knee as you bring the right foot all the way around to the front. Slowly come all the way up from here. And as you come up, pull the hips back. Stack the hips over the back knee. You can walk the front foot forward or back, wherever you need to feel more stabilized. Arms out to a T. Come up onto the right toes. Find your drishti, your focal point. Core engages. Maybe work on just hovering the toes. Maybe work on extending the leg. One more breath. Bending the knee, set the foot back down. You can walk it forward if needed. Find that right positioning. Hands can do whatever you please. Tail reaches down to the ground. Front hip points draw up. Core engages. Bend into the front knee. Start to sink the hips. Don't collapse into the lower back. Keep the tail reaching down. Hands can always drop to blocks or to the ground anytime you choose. Deep breath. Pull the hips back. Maybe walk the foot forward a little bit until you can roll up onto the heel, toes pulling towards the shin. Long lifted spine. Exhale, hinging over. Hands can come to blocks or to the ground or anything that you prefer. I'm going to work a little extra balance and stability by keeping my hands maybe at the hips. One more breath. Spine comes up on an inhale. Walk the foot back in. Nice bend into the knee. From here, reposition feet as needed as you tuck the back toes, arms over your head. Nice strong core. Inhale up, crescent lunge. Hands together at heart center. Don't just push off the back foot. Let's lean forward. Bring weight into the front leg. Come up onto the back toes to bring more weight into the front leg. And then push your front leg into the ground to lift your back leg up. Straighten that standing leg as much as you can. We're building strength and stability, not just throwing momentum around and trying to catch it. Slowly come up to standing. Feel the left knee draw to the chest. Point the toes. Spine stays tall. Find that focal point. And then extend out through your left leg as best as you can. It's okay if it's closer to the ground. Rebend the knee. Slowly hinge forward, leg back, warrior three. Bend your standing leg, slow step back with your left toes. Once the spine comes up, bend the back knee, lower it with control, untuck the toes. Left hand down, right arm reaches up. Deep breath. Take your bottom foot, your left foot, kickstand it behind you. As you take your right leg, sweep it all the way back. Set the right foot down, followed by your right hand. Swivel the knees and feet around to center and sink back child's pose. Few grounding breaths here. Make your way up, tabletop position. Sweep the legs around. Come around onto your glutes, coming into any comfortable seated position of your choosing so we can close out here. From your seat, roll the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, roll them all the way back and down. Let's do that again. Inhale, roll the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, roll them all the way back and down. We're going to get a quick stretch into the hips. Let's cross right leg in front of the left leg. Either easy seat or walk the feet a little more forward, away from the hips to get a deeper opening. Spine up, deep breath in, and exhale, hinging forward. Hands can stay at your lap or they can walk forward. Maybe give yourself a little rocking side to side. We're just going to be here for a few more breaths. Walking yourself up, arms reach high. Inhale, we're going to take a little twist to the right side. Exhale, rotate to the right side. Left hand to your knee, right fingertips to the ground behind you. Lift the spine, take a breath in, and then exhale, twisting yourself open. 2 more breaths here. On your own, find space on your inhale and deeper twist on the exhale. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Drop your hands back, uncross your legs. Quick little shake here. And then we'll cross the left leg in front of the right. Same setup, either feet in close or push them a little farther in front of you for a deeper opening into the hips. Arms reach up, take a breath in here, long lifted spine, and exhale, hinging forward. Hands can walk out as you drape over the legs, maybe give little sways here, side to side. And then walking yourself all the way back up. From here, arms reach high over your head, breath in. Exhale, twist to the left side. Switch the crossing of the hands, lifting the spine. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, twist. Couple more deep breaths, lifting and rotating. Inhale, come back to center. Drop the hands back, uncross the legs. Quick little shake once again. And then we're going to sweep the legs around, coming back into that same seat that we started with. If you want to grab your blocks, take them underneath your hips, go for that variation. As you close the eyes, lift the spine up tall, and just take a moment to ground in. We're not going to be doing a full Shavasana today. So if you would like to take a Shavasana on your own, this would be a great time to hit pause and to finish your practice by completing it with that Shavasana. Otherwise, I'm just keeping this practice short and sweet today to fit into your schedule, whatever that may be. So we're just going to take a few breaths of grounding into this space. Release your breath out. Take a slow breath in. Through the nose, a slow breath out. Again, together. Slow inhale. Fill up, expand. And then through the nose, slowly release it out. And take one more on your own. Relax the effort over your breath and just let it become a little more natural here for a moment. Touch into that stillness. And then join your hands together at heart center. Thank your bodies for what they were able to do for you today. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide. Thank you. Thank you. You can open up your eyes whenever you're ready. So this has been something I've been playing with in my own practice, and I thought it would be a fun way to incorporate and share with y'all. So I'd love to hear your feedback on this. I wanted to keep it short and concise so you can choose to fit it into your day if you only have a little bit of time, but you can also elongate it and make it your own if you have the time for it. But these little transitions work on a lot of integration between the entire body working together as a full unit, while also gaining a lot of strength and stability through our transitions and those movements that tap into that core center. So I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. Share with anyone you think may enjoy. and I will look forward to practicing with you again soon. Thank y'all.